Good evening, everyone. I'd like to call this special council meeting to order for March 17th. As we gather today, I would respectfully acknowledge on behalf of council and the community that the city of Pembroke resides on the unceded traditional territory of the Algonquin people. We thank the generations of people who have taken care of this land for thousands of years, and it is with this statement that we honor and respect the Algonquins on whose land we reside. Are there any disclosures of pecuniary interest in relation to this special meeting of council? Seeing none. This meeting has been called to consider the process of adoption of a new official plan for the City of Pembroke under Section 17N26 of the Planning Act. Mr. CAO, can you please provide a report on how notice was given?
Notice was given in the Pembroke Observer and News and on the city's website and social media accounts on February 5th, 2026 and February 12th, 2026.
Thank you. And Mr. Hutton, can you take it away from there and provide us an introduction as to this particular matter?
Thank you very much, Your Worship. I'm pleased to present from J.L. Richards, the city's consultant for this project, David Wellwood, Senior Planner, and Ellery Vincent, Planner, who are here to discuss the process of adopting a new official plan for the City of Pembroke. David and Ellery, thank you very much for being here with us tonight, and welcome. And if you'd like to take it away.
Sure. Thanks very much. I've just readjusted my camera as the sun previously was shining right in the camera lens. So it's a little bit better. Sorry, I can't help the positioning of my office. So yeah, once again, my name's Dave Wellwood. I'm a senior planner with J.L. Richards. I'm here with my colleague Ellery Vincent. We're going to kind of go through this presentation together. I'm going to tell Ellery when to change slides, and we'll go from there. So as it says on the slide, this is the special meeting of council, which is required by Section 26 of the Planning Act to kick off the new official plan for the City of Pembroke. Next slide. Oh, Ellery is.
Sorry, just give me a second. There we go.
So we're going to have a look. This is organized starting with just an overview of the planning framework in Ontario. A look at the current City of Pembroke official plan. We'll talk about the scope of the review, the different steps that are involved. We'll also go over the project schedule and talk about opportunities to get involved. On the next slide. So this slide illustrates Ontario's planning framework. So at the top of the page, sometimes I call this a planning pyramid, just as the structure. The Planning Act is the top. It sets really the ground rules for land use planning in Ontario. Requires that municipal, any land use planning decision shall have regard to the Planning Act. In the Planning Act, there's a series of provincial interests, which address various topic areas, from anything from housing to the protection of natural resources, to promotion of economic development, to ensuring that public health and safety is protected. The next rung is the provincial policy statements, which are issued under Section 3 of the Planning Act. The provincial planning statement is the principal planning statement in the province. Certain parts of the province, there's also provincial plans, but we don't have any of those in Pembroke, so we won't worry about those. The provincial planning statement is essentially the province's roadmap for the policies that municipalities and land use planning decision makers are expected to follow when making decisions on land use planning matters. So those areas of provincial interest in the Planning Act are basically divided into policy areas within the provincial planning statement, and those relate to different topic areas in your official plan. I'll talk a little bit about that in the coming slides. So the next level of requirements in the planning framework is really your official plan. We don't have an upper tier official plan in Pembroke. We just have the City of Pembroke official plan because Pembroke is not part of the County of Renfrew. The province, the Ministry of Municipal Affairs and Housing, is the final decision maker with regard to the official plan after it is adopted by council. And once it is in effect, all land use planning decisions, all decisions on infrastructure and public works must conform with the official plan. And there could be various other implementing documents or programs which come out of the official plan, from land division applications to your zoning bylaw to different policy plans, such as the community improvement plan. We'll on to the next slide. So the current official plan for the city of Pembroke was adopted on January 5th, 2016. Section 26 of the Planning Act outlines that council needs to revise its official plan no less frequently than 10 years after it comes into effect as a new official plan, and then every 5 years thereafter, unless the plan's been replaced by a new official plan. As such, the official plan is due for a review and update. Since the last update, there have been numerous changes to provincial policy. There's also been 29 different amendments to the Planning Act since January 2016. We've also have 2 new provincial policy statements, the provincial planning statement as it's been renamed in 2024. There's also a number of local priorities that you wish to see reflected in an updated official plan. So that's going to be another part of the process. I like to describe the official plan as a partnership between yourselves, the community, as well as the province. So while I talked a lot about provincial requirements and the Planning Act, this is very much intended to be your plan. And our job is to take those local interests and the provincial interests and try to mesh them together into a document that works for Pembroke. Going into the next slide. So the planning context. I talked about the provincial interests and some of the policies in the provincial planning statement. So these are some of the main topic areas that the review will focus on. The city's official plan contains a variety of policies which were intended to ensure consistency with the 2014 provincial policy statement. As I mentioned, that's now been replaced by the 2024 provincial planning statement. Many of the policies in the official plan need to be updated to align with this new policy environment. This slide shows different topic areas that will be updated or added into the official plan. So for policies for natural heritage, servicing, stormwater management, waste management, intensification, affordable housing, growth and development, these have all been significantly updated in the new PPS. The Planning Act also now requires that municipalities permit 2 additional residential units as of right within a fully serviced settlement area. And that can include 2 units in a principal dwelling, as well as a unit in an accessory structure. The PPS also requires municipalities to have a target for the provision of housing that's affordable to low and moderate income households. And the official plan can facilitate the creation of affordable housing generally by permitting a range of housing options throughout any residential land use designation. The PPS also promotes and encourages planning authorities to promote and encourage active transportation in official plans. So we're going to look at opportunities to include consideration for a range of active transportation options through the approval of new development as well as infrastructure. And the goal here is really to help build a more complete community and a healthier community. The implementation section of your official plan, which is kind of the toolkit where explains how the policies in the official plan will be implemented. This needs to be updated to just take account of the various changes to the Planning Act, which have changed the procedures for some of the planning tools in your official plan. For example, policies for community improvement and site plan control. I'm going to turn it over to Ellery for the next few slides. And then at the end of this, we'll turn it over for some questions.
Thank you, David. So I'm going to kind of get into what the scope of the official plan project entails. So we're currently at the end of phase 1 of the project. So phase 1 of the project kind of comprised gathering the information and data we would need to do our work throughout the project. We also informed Indigenous communities and partners on the project. We had a one-window meeting with the Ministry of Municipal Affairs and partner ministries to discuss updates they'd like to see in line with provincial policy. We had Indigenous engagement meeting, and we're here tonight at the end of the phase, having the special meeting of council. The next phase that we're heading into comprises of the background review. So we'll be reviewing a range of background information, including doing a technical review of the existing official plan, a review and integration of any background studies, plans, and material in the city. And there will be an online public survey included in this phase in which residents will be able to fill out and share their comments and thoughts on the official plan update. In partnership with Watson and Economists, who are our sub-consultants on this project, we will be doing population projections as well as vacant land and supply analysis to inform growth policy. And all of this information will then be summarized at the end of this phase in a background report. After this phase, we'll be moving into phase 3 of the project, which will comprise more public engagement and drafting of the official plan. This will start off with a presentation to council on that background report and our findings from the review. We will then be drafting the revisions into the official plan. We'll have a public open house to hear comments as part of this process. And then we'll take those comments from the open house's other feedback gathered throughout the project and capture those in updated policies in the OP, as well as a comment matrix and staff report that will prepare detailing what we've heard throughout the project. The process will end off with a statutory public meeting as required by the Planning Act with Council, as well as the adoption of the official plan by Council and then final approval by the Ministry. So in terms of the project schedule, we kicked off the project in December of 2025, so this is just past year, and we're just ending off, as mentioned, the first phase now in March. As you can see, we're here at the special meeting of council. We're entering into the background review now, which will go through to the end of April. And then we aim to do the third phase spanning from April down to September of 2026. So there's lots of ways to get involved throughout the project. We'll be distributing notices for the open houses and the meetings. There'll also be web updates on the city's website, social media posts as well, describing different activities and ways to get involved. There's the public open house, which will be hosted. You can also provide written comments throughout the process. We're always happy to read and receive those, as well as Indigenous engagement as part of the project, and our presentations to council as well. So thank you for allowing us the time to come and speak more about the project. And we're very excited to hear any comments or questions you may have regarding it. Thank you.
Thank you. Now, I understand, Mr. Hutton, that you have a list of individuals that have sort of pre-registered with you that they wish to make comment and or questions.
Thank you, Your Worship.
Thank you.
First off, I'd like to note that the Pembroke 50-plus Active Living Center has made a submission. It has been forwarded to our consultants for their consideration. Tonight, we have here Ron Moss of 122 Noack Drive and Jerry Morris of 585 Hillside Avenue. They are both here to speak regarding active transportation.
Yes, good evening. Thank you for allowing us to come in and speak to you. We are both active walkers, cyclists, and advocates for healthy living in a safe environment. We were pleased to read that the strategic plan, the community improvement plan, and the Pembroke Laurentian Valley Transportation Master Plan supports the development of an active transportation plan, which we look forward to seeing that moving forward. Our ask this evening is for the planning review of the official plan to consider integrating an active transportation master plan into the official plan as part of the official plan purpose and guidelines for existing and future development. Secondly, we bring active transportation forward in a more prominent role, such as adding a requirement to include active transportation pathways into section 5.5 sidewalks, adding required to institutional section 4.9.3 for installation of sidewalks or pathways within a 2-kilometer radius leading to all schools. We have more specific, where'd he go?
Well, I think Ron covered most of the points that I was going to make or would have made, and that would be about incorporating the active transportation concepts into the official plan, and hopefully that would fold into the zoning bylaw in a more sort of functional and kind of empirical way, and that would be added into the zoning bylaw as far as parking for bike racks. And there's some actual numbers that are available in LEED certification where they, I realize this is not the forum for zoning issues, but I thought I would plant the seed, not so much for the audience at J.L. Richards, but for the council and planners and so forth, to incorporate requirements for bicycle parking in commercial, institutional, industrial, and probably residential as well. And as I had mentioned, LEED certification actually dictates numbers or provides numbers of 5%, providing 5% of the occupancy or the users of a commercial operation. That would probably go with some institutionals such as churches and so forth would be 5% of the users, and then up to 15% for residential users, residences. Which are numbers at least to start with. So anyway, that's all I have. I'm interested in seeing, and hopefully we get a preview of the official plan before it's kind of signed and sealed. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you both very much. Next, we have our Deputy Mayor, Brian Abdallah, in his role with the Ottawa Valley Affordable Housing Committee, here to speak regarding affordable housing.
How's that? Good. Good evening. I'm Brian Abdallah. I'm Vice Chair of the Ottawa Valley Affordable Housing Incorporated nonprofit. Other members were going to be present tonight, but because of the March break obligations with the family. This is just a summary of our brief that I've sent to Mr. Hutton and Ms. Sorio, and also I handed Mr. Hutton a hard copy. The Ottawa Valley Affordable Housing nonprofit, OVA, submission recognizes the leadership in sustainable land use planning and provides targeted recommendations to enhance affordable housing in the official plan. We recognize the leadership of Pembroke's role in their official plan. OVA aims to boost affordable and attainable housing across the Ottawa Valley. This document submission responds to Pembroke's official plan review, advocating for policies aligned with the provincial policy statement and Renfrew County frameworks. Key recommendations: definition revision, define affordable housing as costing less than 30% of household income or below a local market average, ensuring consistency in bylaws and incentives. Housing objectives: strengthen goals with tools like partnerships, surplus land use, incentives, and infill for diverse housing types, including supportive and special needs options. Infill intensification: update residential policies to promote gentle intensification citywide beyond the 15% target, permitting duplexes, additional units as of right on all lots. Renovation and lands: target underused sites via the community improvement plan incentives, support renovations and downtown housing additions. Implementation: adjust zoning for as of right intensification, maintain the CIP incentives, engage stakeholders, and consider an affordable housing action plan or strategy. OVA offers partnership with the city on the development of such action plan if the city deems necessary. Municipal land: use surplus lands for affordable mixed income projects via sales, leases, or collaborations with the county and developers and other nonprofit housing corporations. Monitoring: add tracking of key performance indicators, example new units, incentives, in growth reports to refine policies. Economic link: position affordable housing as vital for workplace stability and growth. In conclusion, this submission urges results-driven policies for more affordable homes through intensification, incentives, partnerships, and monitoring. OVA commits to collaboration with the City of Pembroke and all stakeholders on zoning, land strategies, and engagement. I want to thank our board member Alex Benzie for assisting me on the development of this document, and other board members. I just want to read who our members are. Is Tilheimer Chair, Brian Abdallah Vice Chair, Directors Alex Benzie, Patrick Renshaw, Al Atinima, Cameron Montgomery, Maria Robinson, Ankit Vyas, and Lee Sweeney, a diverse group with different backgrounds across the Ottawa Valley. Thank you for this opportunity, and we look forward to working with the City of Pembroke. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Next, we have Bethia Summers of the Pembroke Business Improvement Area, the PBIA.
Thank you. Maybe I'm shorter than Brian. Good evening, Mayor and Council. Thank you for the opportunity for me to speak this evening as the city begins the process of developing a new official plan. The PBI appreciates being included in these early discussions, and as the decisions made throughout this process will shape the future of the downtown and the broader community for many years. One of the key priorities of the PBIA is to ensure that downtown core continues to function as a vibrant area where community gathers to shop, dine, live, and create memories. Over the past several years, we've seen an increase in interest in residential development and residential conversions within the downtown, which is positive. However, having people living downtown supports businesses, increases activity, and creates a more vibrant community. However, we also want to ensure that this growth does not come at the expense of ground floor commercial spaces. Street-level storefronts are what create an active, welcoming downtown environment. They are where small businesses operate, where visitors shop and dine, and where community life happens. Once these commercial spaces are converted to residential use, it is very difficult, if not impossible, to bring that commercial activity back. For that reason, the PBIA would like to see the new official plan include policies that protect ground floor commercial use within the downtown core, particularly among primary commercial corridors. While mixed-use development should absolutely be encouraged, we believe it's important that street-level spaces remain primarily commercial so that the downtown continues to serve as an economic and social heart of the community. I am very appreciative of the city in the past as they've been aware of this and they've been cognizant of it, so I am hopeful that it continues in the new official plan as well. Because protecting commercial storefronts supports local entrepreneurship, tourism, and long-term economic health of downtown Pembroke. It also ensures that future generations will still experience a lively and active Main Street, rather than a corridor of residential units. We encourage the city to continue to consider policies within the official plan that prioritize commercial use at street level in the downtown and limit the conversion of existing commercial storefronts to residential. The PBI looks forward to continuing to working with staff and council throughout the process to ensure that the new official plan reflects the importance of a strong and vibrant downtown. Thank you for your time this evening.
Thank you, Bethia. And lastly, we have Romeo Levisser, Vice Chair of the Planning Advisory and Adjustment Committee.
Well, thank you. Gee, I do that all the time, eh? Anyways, thank you very much, Your Worship and members of council and others. I hadn't intended of saying anything here at this moment. I just wanted to come in here and listen. But I was invited to say a few words, and if you don't mind, I think that a few musings from a local resident and one who has been involved in local politics in and out for quite a while. And so there are a few things that I can kind of tell you from the top of my head. And one of them has to do with, back in 1962 and 63, when I was sitting in the classrooms and taking urban planning courses. And then I've had an opportunity to, of course, to act out some of those things here within the city boundaries. And things have always been pretty steady. Things have improved. But I believe that in the past 10 years, we've had a dramatic change in the area of challenges in the buildings, in the communities, and so on. And I think that it's something that the official plan is going to have to take into effect. And I would like to suggest that there are a lot of people who we'll find maybe some of the things that are going to be put in this official plan, perhaps a little bit strange, but reality is telling us that we need to, in the next few years, to advance and be visionary. And we have to plan for growth. And, you know, we can talk about an official plan for Pembroke, which is a little bit under 18,000 population, but really, we should be planning for at least growth towards 50,000 people. That's what we have to do. If you look at the official plan in Ottawa a while back that has come out, they've planned for 2 million, and they're just at 1 million now. We have to be looking at that size. And where do I get the figure 50,000? Well, look at Laurentian Valley, look at Pembroke, and look at Petawawa. You're hugging 50,000 right now. And I know that Pembroke right now is landlocked. We can't develop outside of those boundaries. So what do? We've been really focusing on filling in density, intensification, which was just mentioned by the deputy mayor, and we've had to make some major changes. As it was mentioned, I sit on the City Advisory Committee for Planning, and over the years, and I've been there for 8 years, and over the years, we've had applications that have come before us, and we've approved changes, and council has gone along with most of them. And but we're not getting shovels in the ground. And one of the things that perhaps we should be looking at or asking our consultants to find out from developers why. I mean, we're not getting enough shovels in the ground to get the work done. So are our rules too strict? Our rules reached a point where there's no profit involved? Let's face it, if they're going to invest in a certain amount of money, there's got to be a level of profit. So that's why our zoning has to be looked at very carefully and look at it within the reality of the situation right now. And I think that these significant new challenges, which have been given to us by the federal government and the provincial government to come up with affordable housing and affordable rental and so on, we've got to look at that. I fear for my 6 grandchildren that they're not going to be able to own their own home. All at university, which means they should have an opportunity for a quality of life that would provide them with the opportunity to buy a home. But I fear that won't happen unless we do something drastic. We got to start developing, as they say, upwards and not laterally. As a matter of fact, I have read in some of the newspapers that they're talking about developing downwards. We have to start accommodating downward development. In my day, whenever I was younger, the basement was for storage of vegetables, storage of different things, wood for the winter and so on. Today, they're living places. The technology and the engineering that's going on into the building, today, a basement apartment can be as beautiful and livable as the first and second, third floor. And they're talking in some areas of going down, where the soil conditions can handle it, going down another story. With today's high technology, with the ventilation, with the electricity and the lighting, there's no reason why they can't go down. Now, it depends on the soil, of course, but this is something we're looking into the future, and we have to look at that. I think that our official plan should be diverse, should look at the diverse population that's coming within our community. The aging demographics, Pembroke is a magnet for a lot of people in Renfrew County to come here where the services are. We have to be planned for that. So in a nutshell, I think it's important that our plan is flexible, resilient, and above all, a city where people want to live, work, and play, and where the developers want to come and develop. So I think that our official plan should have some close links with the official plan in Laurentian Valley and close links with the official plan in Petawawa, because I see, and I hope I'm alive to see it, but it's coming. The hospitality or the friendship among the three governments I've just mentioned has improved tremendously. And I think that this city council is to be complimented on how they've worked closely with Laurentian Valley and Petawawa. And so I see the day where those boundaries, Pembroke boundaries, are going to be gone. So that's why I'm saying we got to have an official plan that's going to be looking at a larger population of 50. So thank you very much for the opportunity to just throw off a few musings from the few years of experience that I've been involved with. Thank you.
So, Mr. Hutton, are there more people on your list?
That is the end of my list, Your Worship.
Send your list. Is there members of the public, because I see a young, not to put you on the spot, but I'm going to put you on the spot. I see that you're in the audience. Did you wish to speak to this matter, or you're just here to listen in and see what we're...
Just here to listen.
And see what we're discussing. Okay, fair enough. At this time, is there any questions from members of council? Councilor Purcell?
Again, thank you very much for your presentation. Just looking at the project schedule timeline, Phase 3, April 2026 and September 2026. It gets kind of gets into our election period as well. So is the official plan, will it be approved by the next term of council? Is that the intent?
Through you, Your Worship. No, the intent would be that the official plan would be approved by this council.
I believe the consultant wishes to speak. Am I right, or did Mr. Hutton address what you were trying to say?
I would have said the same through your worship. I would have said the same thing.
Okay, very good. Any other questions from council? Seeing none. If anyone wishes to be kept notified in this process, please contact Mr. Hutton at City Hall. And at this time, I'd entertain a confirming bylaw from Councilor Purcell.
Thank you, Mayor. Moved by myself and seconded by Councillor Keel that bylaw 2026-28 to confirm the proceedings of the special meeting of council be adopted and passed, and further that said bylaw be signed by the mayor and the clerk and sealed with the seal of the corporation. Thank you.
Moved by Councilor Purcell and seconded by Councilor Keel that bylaw 2026-28 to confirm the proceedings of the special meeting of council of March 17, 2026 be adopted and passed, and further said bylaw be signed by the mayor and clerk and sealed with the seal of the corporation. Those in favor? That is carried. Motion to adjourn. I have the deputy mayor seconded by Councilor Purcell. Those in favor? We are adjourned. Thank you.
Good evening, everyone, and welcome to the Parks and Recreation Committee meeting for March 17th. I'll call to order this meeting. Any disclosures of pecuniary interest or general nature thereof? Seeing none. Can I get an approval of the meeting agenda? Moved by Deputy Mayor Abdallah and seconded by Councillor Keel. All in favor? Thank you. Any business arising from, approval of the minutes for the Parks and Recreation Committee for February 17th, 2026. Moved by Councillor Keel, seconded by Councillor Fernier. All in favor? Thank you. And next we have, is there any business arising from those minutes? Seeing none, we're moving on to presentations and delegations. So today we have with us Dorian Pierce, the Director, and Councillor Keel to present the Festival Hall update. Welcome, Dorian.
Thank you. And thank you, Council, for having me here to talk about Festival Hall. It's a space that I grew up performing in and being a part of, so it's really great to be here at Council to chat about all the things that we've been doing over the past year or so.
And the unique thing about that is I also grew up at Festival Hall back when it was Laurentian, so the two of us both went to school in that facility. So in terms of the background, this is an update on the first year of the new Festival Hall contract. Of course, as Council will remember, early last year, following the retirement of Rick Wharton, who led our hall for over a decade, I believe it was 14 years, I think. We entered into the procurement process. We had 2 bids, and Kitchissippi Production led the way and was appointed as the new operational director of Festival Hall under Dorian's leadership.
Okay, so on facilities and operations updates, with our box office, we've added a new ticket software in use, so we've updated our system on our website and made it a little bit more user-friendly for everybody. We have ticket scanners now at all the events. You can see on the screen there somebody getting their ticket scanned. We have a new CRM in place now, Customer Relationship Management System, to improve customer service and response time. We've now gotten quite a bit faster at getting back to everybody when those inquiries come in, and so quite a few good improvements on the box office side. When it comes to the canteen, we purchased a new popcorn machine, and I actually should have put on the presentation, we purchased 2 new popcorn machines because we have one for the main level and one for upstairs in the balcony when we have the balcony canteen open. We have debit and credit now available at the canteen, at the bar, and also a new separate bar. So we have a separate lineup for the bar to ease congestion at the canteen lineup. And also something new that we added is we have a new balcony canteen at the balcony level that we set up during shows where there is demand for that.
So in terms of facility upgrades, this has been a huge component of the last year. As Council is aware, a new capital fee of $1.25 per ticket sold was instituted. The consortium is also getting 15% of the net canteen sales and $150 for a non-ticketed booking of the hall. I am very proud to say that in 2025, these capital fees brought the consortium in $20,396. This fee is going to go a very long way to improving Festival Hall and providing regular revenue to the consortium in order to make those capital updates. The newest update was a $50,000 investment in new lighting in the hall. Some of the lights that were replaced go all the way back to 1979 when the hall was opened. Some of them didn't work. Procuring light bulbs was becoming an issue. In fact, I think one of our suppliers was from Mexico, if I'm not mistaken. So it was well overdue to replace the lighting, and anyone who was there recently, I know his worship was at the Kiwanis Festival of Stars, would now see that we don't have any dark spots on the stage anymore. The quality of the lighting is just amazing. And I want to say that we certainly have to thank the French Public School Board, who split that $50,000 investment with us. They paid 50%, and then we covered the other 50% using those capital revenues that I was just speaking about. So very pleased with that.
Absolutely, that's a really big upgrade. And I want to just take a minute and thank our technical crew for getting that install done. Terry Mask, Andrew Bing, and the entire technical team at Festival Hall for working hard on getting the new stage lights installed. Another big upgrade at Festival Hall is our new video install. With the help of Sean Benke from Combatech Multimedia, who's sitting right behind me over here. We've installed a new video system in the hall, and that's going to give us the ability to provide videography services built right into our facility for hall users. We've also added, or will be adding, 2 large screens to the auditorium and screens to the lobby space as well. And these were sponsored by Leach & Keel, a professional corporation, and will also be installed by Sean Benke. And this is going to be another really great upgrade that we have in the hall, another service that we're able to offer people coming in. And it's really quite unique. There's not a lot of theaters that have a built-in videography service right in, and it's also opens up the opportunity for us to have conferences and all kinds of other things without the need to bring additional equipment in for those events.
Speaking about the facility upgrades, the other thing that I requested a number of months ago was that Festival Hall complete an asset management plan. And so Dorian, along with Chris Neff, who is the staff representative from the Township of Laurentian Valley, they have been working on that. That, I believe, should be completed later this year. So certainly the inventory of the hall, for those that don't know, the hall has been managed by a number of different groups over the year, going all the way back to the Valley Arts Council, and then more recently with contracted representatives such as Dorian and Kitchissippi Productions and Rick Wharton and Adventure Entertainment. So we are doing a full facility inventory of all the equipment, as well as costing things out and looking into the future so that we don't get surprised by future failures, and so that while we are collecting the capital fee, we have a plan going forward to keep the hall upgraded. I would hate to see us again be replacing things from 1979. So I'm very happy and very pleased that Chris and Dorian are going to be completing that, and once finished, that will be circulated with council.
And some other items that we've been working on. At all of our events now, we have a front of house manager that's present, and their job really is to make sure that everything is being handled, from coordinating with the backstage team who's running the show itself, to making sure all of our volunteers are where they need to be and they're all taken care of. The front of house manager addition has been a really big help with our operations at the hall. Last year I hired an administrative assistant because I'll just say the hall has gotten so busy that we need extra help at the office to make sure that things are happening in a timely manner. And also last summer we hired a summer student, and we also applied to Canada Summer Jobs for this summer for some summer students as well. When it comes to community partnerships, we're always looking for ways to partner with the community and really enhance our facility. I'm skipping ahead here. I'll start with the school relationship, which is probably the largest partnership we have. And I'll say that we've had really a great relationship with the school, with the principal, with the school board over the past year. One of the first things we did was establish a procedure for school bookings and use of Festival Hall. Under the lease agreement we have with the school, they are able to use our facility. And so we came up with a procedure for them to easily get access to that. Also in the lease, we have access to the school gymnasiums at times. And so we established a procedure for us being able to book and use their gymnasiums. And we have a shared calendar for the facility between both groups to coordinate that. In addition, with the school, we've had good communication on some minor repairs that have needed to happen over the last year, and we're glad to see us moving forward and getting those done. Some local partnerships that we've done is with MyFM. If you listen to MyFM, you've probably heard quite a bit of Festival Hall on there. We have ads about lots of our shows that are taking place. We're featured in their community calendar. Many of the shows that go through, we have arranged interviews with MyFM with the acts themselves. In particular, quite a few with the Pembroke Symphony Orchestra, who does 4 shows a year at Festival Hall. And the MyFM partnership overall has really helped us gain more visibility for the hall. Another big one is the Best Western. All of these touring acts that come through need accommodations, and the Best Western has stepped up and been a great accommodations partner for us in the last year and going forward. So our youth programming, last year we had 2 summer camps that took place, a junior summer camp for ages 7 to 10, and our youth theater intensive for ages 10 and up. And this happens for 2 reasons. On one hand, we want to keep the hall busy in the summer, and in the summertime, there's not as many touring acts that come through, and so the hall, because of that, is a little bit less busy. So we want to keep the hall busy, and also because this is just such a great experience for the youth to be able to do a camp and learn about the theater, lighting, sound, being able to do some acting on the stage, dancing. It's a great experience for them to be able to do all of that in a professional theater setting. I also, as Festival Hall Director, did some presentations with Valor High School and Fellows High School, speaking to the students there about Festival Hall and our role in the community and what we do at our facility. Also on that is I chatted with them about volunteering opportunities at Festival Hall and it's of all the places to get your volunteer hours, I'll say that I think Festival Hall is one of the coolest places to get your volunteer hours. And so encouraging the youth to get their volunteer hours at Festival Hall. This past fall, we launched our fall theater program. This is led by Karen Walsh, who has been a fantastic director of our youth programming. And that went from September through, I believe, the end of November. And it ended with a performance at Festival Hall, which I believe Councillor Keel attended.
And Councillor Lafreniere.
And Councillor Lafreniere as well. And it was another great showcase of the youth talent in our community. And starting after March break, so just next week, we're going to be launching our spring theater program. And we've really taken the fall program and extended it even further with our spring program. The program's going to be 2 hours instead of 1 hour a week. And at the end of the program, they're going to be doing a full-length play at Festival Hall in June, which is going to be quite exciting and something that I'm really looking forward to seeing. Also, we're going to be launching very soon our range of summer camps for 2026, and our plan is to have more summer camps this year than we did last year, based on the registrations and the interest that we had.
So for me, the development of the youth engagement that Dorian has put forward, and which was part of his proposal, is actually one of the greatest attributes that we've seen so far under this current contract. To bring so many youth into the hall, not only with respect to volunteers so that they can get their volunteer hours, but putting them on the stage so that it potentially develops future interest, both in theater and in public speaking and in all of those other ways that that stage performance can assist. So if I was to credit Dorian with well, I could credit him with any number of things so far this year, but this youth engagement, I think, is one of the biggest things that the consortium is proud of. So, in terms of volunteers, the only thing that I can say is thank you to all of them. The hall could not operate without volunteers. Over the course of last year, we had 80 volunteers participate with hall activities, 604 volunteer shifts for a total of 2,200 hours of volunteering. Dorian has now hosted a number of volunteer appreciation events. So we have, I think we've had a pizza night, we had a Thai garden thank you dinner to the volunteers. And this past Sunday, we went up to Deep River for some bowling. So certainly the engagement both from the volunteers and from Kitchissippi Productions has been a wonderful relationship that I am very proud of. And anybody who is interested in volunteering can reach out to Dorian at Festival Hall, and I know we're always happy to receive new volunteers. So, in terms of some highlights and some more statistics to give to council, in 2025 there were 45 shows at Festival Hall with over 13,000 issued tickets. So far this year in 2026, we're looking at 64 signed or in progress shows, and I think Dorian has more to talk about in terms of what's coming up.
Absolutely. And 2026 is looking like it's going to be quite a busy year for everybody at the hall. As Ian said, 64 shows are currently signed or in progress, and we're expecting that number to go up as we work more with promoters and finalize some more dates. We have a couple of highlights on my notes here. Is Streetlight Theatre is returning to Festival Hall this year in November to put on another musical production. As I mentioned earlier, we have our youth program show in June at the end of that session. In the fall, we have, I can't announce who it is yet, but you'll hear it very soon, I hope. We have a couple of major country acts that are secured for the fall, and we're excited to make that announcement. I was hoping to be able to make it before today so I could say it at council, but it will be coming very soon. Of course, we have the Pembroke Symphony Orchestra returning for their 4 shows that they do every year. We have, every year, the dance recital season is quite busy for us. We have 10 dance recitals coming this year from 4 different dance studios over a period of just a few weeks. Of course, we have a range of different concerts that are going to be happening throughout the year. So it's looking to be quite an exciting year for us at Festival Hall.
And when Dorian talks about, PSO and Streetlight, of last year's show, the 45 shows, 23 of them were locally produced. So that was members of our community producing shows, which, again, Festival Hall, the greatest performing arts center that we have between Ottawa and North Bay. And, an increase from 45 shows to 64 shows. In fact, and I think I mentioned this during a councillor update, there's parts of our calendar that we're actually having to shut down because the hall is simply too busy, which is a great problem to have.
And that's everything for our presentation today. You can see here on the screen a little slideshow of our volunteer team working, some moments in the hall, some of that fresh popcorn being made. And I say this at every presentation I make, it's really good popcorn. At every show, I want to go get popcorn, but with the amount of shows I work, I try to hold myself back a little bit. But just a general thank you to Pembroke City Council for continuing to support Festival Hall and really make sure that it's a great community space for everybody to enjoy, and we're happy to take your questions.
Deputy Mayor Abdallah?
Thank you, gentlemen, for the presentation and the great work that you're doing with Festival Hall. Since I promote over 30 shows there in the Green Domino production, when Rick Wharton was there, and before that, it's really changed. And everybody who's worked there has always progressed it. And now it's Dorian and the team doing it now. And I had the privilege of being a judge again in the Ottawa Valley Talent Showcase 2 weeks ago, and you were showing me all the upgrades. And I must say the popcorn is very tasty because I had 2 bags of it. But it's really great to see the technology updates and the videography service and the youth programming and the partnerships with the community and all the local groups using it. And 64 shows, it's amazing. And I just want to put a shout out to all the volunteers. Like, you know, if we didn't have the volunteers, it'd be tough to run that place because I know you have a lot of expenses. And we just want to thank all the volunteers, like people like Mike O'Grady, who's been there, Dr. O'Grady, he was there when I was doing shows there, and I know there's other people, I don't want to miss anybody, but, you know, my friend Gary Hurley, he's in the canteen, and without the volunteers in there and in the community, we wouldn't have it, but I know the volunteers enjoy volunteering there, but special shout out to them. And Dorian, you're doing a fantastic job, and Councillor Keel, thanks for representing us on the committee. And you know, and like you say, it's the best theatre here in North Bay and in Ottawa. And promoters look for a nice theatre, so it's really up to date. You even have a canteen upstairs now, and that's fantastic. So, how many seats do we have there?
The capacity at the hall is 528. There's 520 seats and 8 accessible spots.
Well, that's excellent. So once again, thank you very much.
Councillor Fernie?
Yeah, good evening, Dorian. Sorry I couldn't be there tonight. I'm a little under the weather, and I don't want to share that. So, you know, I'm so excited when I read the agenda and saw all the good things that are happening. And I just want to say big shout out to you, Kitchissippi, and your volunteers. I mean, you've become the pulse of our community. You know, I was fortunate to work in media production for 32 years, and it is one of the most exciting careers I think someone can have. So I understand how much fun, like you said, I think you're right. I think that's the best place to do community hours because it's not really work if you love what you're doing, right? So I just want to say I love everything you're doing. The foresight, you know, the services that you're now providing there are going to make it even more attractive, like you said, to conferences and things. The youth programming, I mean, I'm not going to repeat everything. You've blown me away, and I think that I hope you're with us for many, many, many years. If I wasn't, you know, so silver-haired, I might say, maybe I'll start volunteering, and maybe I might. You certainly have made it a very attractive environment. And my grandchildren enjoyed their theater program in the fall, but I'm happy to hear it's been up to 2 hours, because I think the 1 hour was a little, by the time they settled down and tried to focus, you know, they are children. So no, good decision, I believe. The capital fees, I love the idea that you're going to have a little capital, because we know at the city we weren't doing that maybe when we should have. I just got so many things written down here, but I mean, great. You inspire me, and keep up the great work. And wish I could have joined you for bowling. I love bowling. Okay, thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. So thank you for your presentation, and just I see the chair is communicating with Councillor Jackson, or at least as best as we're able to. A sincere congratulations for the two of you in terms of your leadership. I know once before I shared with Councillor Keel that perhaps previously there were challenges, and there was challenges, and I'm not pointing fingers in terms of who was involved in it, but I know that from time to time, myself and the former CEO would have to get involved because there was challenges and difficulties, and you don't want that. And so clearly, as a result of your leadership, things are thriving. Yes, in terms of capital, you know, it's beautiful, it's spotless, everything is bright, there's nothing's burnt out and so forth. It's top notch, it's top shelf, and so that it's not, you know, where am I going to tonight in terms of taking in an act or what have you. So just congratulations to the two of you in terms of the leadership to get it to where it is now. Great. Thank you.
Councillor Jack Doe via our CAO.
Yeah, I'm not anything, so.
Okay, sorry.
I'm.
Big thumbs
Yeah, I
up.
think it was just a thumbs up.
All right,
and
perfect.
Congrats, what's going on.
All right, and if I could speak from the chair position, I just wanted to comment in regards to the success of Festival Hall under Dorian's leadership. You know, having that capital fee of $20,000, that is fantastic. It shows the commitment by yourself, Dorian, and your production company for managing the facility in terms of future upgrades and capital upgrades. So I think that is a great addition to the contract this year, and I need to thank Councillor Keel for bringing that forward. So thank you, Councillor Keel, and also. You know, the movie installs, I've had the opportunity to participate in a couple, maybe one volunteer event, and I worked up in the balcony, and it certainly was the feedback that I received from individuals is that, you know, the facility is such a first-class facility, and it's first-class because it's the focus in terms of the customer service that's provided through Kitchissippi Productions. You know, the thoughtfulness in terms of putting a canteen on the second floor to reduce individuals struggling with two sets of staircases that are fairly significant for some people to climb up and down. You know, and the efficiencies that you put in terms of the canteen and the bar. Now, I may not have had any of the popcorn, but I've had a couple beers and maybe a glass of wine there, and I know that, you know, the lineup got served, so that way there people could resume their seats and get on to the rest of the entertainment or the show that they're in. I do have to say one thing: there's nothing better than 70s movie popcorn. So I'm going to hold it to that standard. So when I do have the popcorn, I'm going to enjoy that 70s movie popcorn because, you know, can you get the extra pump of butter?
Oh, yeah.
Can you get that? Or is it already pre-buttered?
It's already pre-buttered, but we can look into that.
All right, perfect. I think we should pass that as a committee, at least a recommendation. But anyway, thank you very much. And I also just wanted to reach out to Councillor Keel and say thank you very much for your commitment to Festival Hall. I know that he's diligent in providing, you know, great updates at council in terms of upcoming productions. Not only that, he volunteers a lot of his time at Festival Hall, and through his donations, through his personal donations, and also his donations through Leach and Keel, I'm sorry, you know, that to make things, you know, like the video installs, you know, come to fruition. So thank you guys. Thank you both for all the work that you do. It's appreciated. Thank you.
Thank you.
We're still on the popcorn kick. Now I got to get some before I go home. So next we have the new official plan, additional costs with Director Sorio.
Good evening. So the recommendation is that the Parks and Recreation Committee of Council endorse and recommend to Council the participation of the City of Pembroke in the Ministry of Municipal Affairs and Housing's official plan pilot project. And secondly, the committee endorse and recommend the authorization of an additional expenditure in the amount of $10,261.30 plus HST allocated from the city's budget contingency fund to retain J.L. Richards to complete the required standardization and formatting revisions associated with the pilot project, to convert the city's AutoCAD official plan schedules to shapefiles, and to pay for minor budget overages. So under the financial recommendations, J.L. Richards' proposal for a new official plan was approved in November of 2025 at a cost of just over $67,000 plus HST. To be part of the Ministry of Municipal Affairs and Housing Official Plan pilot project, there would be some additional work that was not anticipated by our consultants when their bid was received by the city. So the consultant has indicated that this additional work to be part of the pilot project would result in an incremental cost of $7,915 plus a 7% disbursement plus HST. And this amount was not accounted for in the 2026 budget. Further, the consultant has noted that the city's existing AutoCAD official plan schedule drawings do not match industry standards. So we have to move from AutoCAD to shapefile format. And once this new data is finalized, it will be returned to the GIS format for integration into the city's Hunter GIS system, which would definitely be beneficial for the planning department. And the cost for this work is $1,425 plus 7% disbursements plus HST. Again, this amount was not accounted for in the project budget. And finally, according to the consultants, there are some minor budget overages due to 3 additional meetings at a cost of $250, a total of $250 plus 7% disbursements plus HST. And this amount can be accommodated for in the existing budget, but we've added it to this amount. Therefore, the additional cost to be part of the pilot project, convert AutoCAD drawings to shapefiles, and to pay for minor budget overages is $10,261.30 plus HST. Funding is available for this overage from the city's 2026 budget contingency fund. So as a little bit of background, at the November 4th, 2025 Planning and Development Committee meeting, the committee endorsed and recommended the pre-approval of J.L. Richards and Associates for the preparation of the city's new official plan. The new official plan, as you heard tonight, is well underway. We've just finished the initial first phase, and we're looking to start the second phase immediately. The city has adopted for a new official plan instead of a 5-year amendment to the plan, and the new plan would establish a new planning framework intended to guide development and land use decisions for the next 10 years. Presently, the city's official plan came into effect in 2016. Therefore, the Planning Act requires that the new official plan must be updated in this year. So the Ministry of Municipal Affairs and Housing has approached the city and asked if the city would be one of 4 municipalities chosen by the province to participate in an official plan pilot project. The pilot project is streamlining initiatives that will be required to be undertaken by all municipalities doing their official plan. So they've picked 4 municipalities to start this pilot project. So what are the benefits of this, or what they're doing, I guess? Number one is they want to ensure there's standardized land use designations for every official plan in Ontario. So everyone would have the same land use designations. Everyone would have the same table of contents and the same sections in their official plan. So the benefits to this is the ministry would offer the city frontline priority processing and feedback on its drafted official plan. So we wouldn't be waiting in line. The 4 municipalities that are part of the pilot project would be front of the line for anything that comes forward. The piloting portion of the official plan, like I said, is scoped to have standard land use designations and standard table of contents. The ministry's goal would be to bring the city's official plan into effect in 2026 or early 2027. I know that question came up earlier. It's just, I guess, depending on how, if there's issues with our public meetings and it takes a little longer, then we may have to wait for the election to go by and then go to 2027. But our hopes are to get it through in 2026. As a pilot municipality, the city would benefit by being partners on this development, and we would be part of the work and be part of the standards that are being set in Ontario. And it would alleviate the future need for an official plan. So if we went on our own and we did our own official plan, there's nothing, the province says there's nothing to say that in the next year, 2, 5 years, that we might have to redo our official plan to meet those standardizations that we'd be part of right now. And then finally, the city would be able to demonstrate its commitment to modernization, innovation, and simplifying the process. So while this is a great advantage for the city, there is this additional cost, as the consultants weren't aware that we were going to be asked to be part of this pilot project. And so when I spoke with the consultants and told them what was involved, they came up with this figure that is this additional cost. And then again, secondly, we're looking at the city's AutoCAD drawings don't meet industry standards, and AutoCAD is outdated technology in GIS, so we have to change those to shape files, but again, there's an additional cost. And finally, there have been some minor budget overages. We did have a meeting with the consultants to see why there was these overages. We understand now what our role is, what their role is, so there should be no more overages at all. So hopefully that 250 is the last extra you'll see. And then, so the alternatives that we considered was the option was to opt out of the ministry's pilot project or to participate in it at an additional cost of $8,469.05 plus HST. So staff is recommending that the city participate in the pilot project as the advantages far outweigh the additional cost of the study. The city's new official plan will be a ministry priority, and they are committing to approving it in the fall of 2026 or early in 2027, depending on when we adopt the official plan. Also, if the city participates in the pilot project, it alleviates the need for our future revision to our official plan to address conformity with provincial standards. So your direction is required.
Councillor Keel?
I'll start with the motion and then I'll have some comments. I move that the Planning and Development Committee of Council endorse and recommend to Council the participation of the City of Pembroke in the Ministry of Municipal Affairs and Housing Official Plan Pilot Project, and that the committee endorse and recommend to Council the authorization of an additional expenditure in the amount of $9,590 plus 7% for disbursements for a total cost of $10,261.30 plus HST allocated from the city's budget contingency to retain J.L. Richards to complete the required standardization and formatting revisions associated with the pilot project to convert the city's AutoCAD official plan schedules to shapefiles and to pay for minor budget overages.
Deputy Mayor Dell?
I'll second that motion.
I'm not going to repeat everything that Colleen said, but I think one of the biggest issues, of course, is this lets us, in some ways, I suppose we're actually kind of lucky to have been selected because it gets us in on the ground floor of what the ministry is looking for. Unlike many of our bylaws, the official plan does require ministry approval. So by getting in with them on the pilot project, it might help us prevent us having to redo or make amendments to our official plan in the next little while once the province fully implements its new requirements. With respect to the AutoCAD, I think obviously we need to keep our systems up to date, and I think as we often find, if you let things dwell for too long, it often becomes more expensive than to bring things up to date in the future. So if we're doing our official plan now and we have consultants that are able to do that, I think we might as well take advantage of that. So I would recommend that committee recommend this to council.
Mayor Abdallah?
No, I just want to thank Ms. Sorial for the detailed report, explaining everything, shapefile and the reasons for, and, very detailed, easy to make a decision. And it's good that we've been picked as a pilot. It'll speed up the process, and any future changes we'll be a part of. So thank you.
Councillor Fernier?
I just want to second the motion.
It's already been seconded by Deputy Mayor Abdallah.
Okay, I am awake here. I'm just not.
That's all right. You're just not feeling well, that's all.
No, thank you.
Seeing none, can we get a vote, please? All in favor?
Great, thank you.
Next, we have Director Grosche for the Silver Stick Collaborative Agreement. Director Grosche.
All right, thank you. Good evening, Chair and Council. So the recommendation for this report is that the Parks and Recreation Committee endorse and recommend to Council the approval of the collaborative agreement between the City of Pembroke and the Silver Stick Committee as attached. So So as you may be aware, the Olympia ice resurfacer was recently purchased, and we have received it. And this was part of the 2025 budget deliberations in the amount of $70,000. We were fortunate enough to have two groups come forward, both Bogey's Bar as well as Silver Stick Committee, that offered to pay $25,000 each for a total of $50,000, which helped to offset the cost of the new machine. In terms of the payment process for Silver Stick, what we would be looking at is over a 3-year period. So April of this year, Silver Stick would contribute $10,000, in 2027, $8,000, and the year after, $7,000. As council may be aware, the Silver Stick community hosts the annual Silver Stick tournament, which is 4 weekends in the month of November, and is probably one of the best annual tourism events that we do see in the city of Pembroke as of right now. Council may also be aware that they've supported several projects at the PACC in the past, and I had put a few in this report just to draw attention to the addition of the activity room. They contributed to the 2009 ice resurfacer, the existing scoreboard, lights and dressing room updates, and most recently a southside entrance to the PACC, which has been much needed. The city was approached by the Silver Stick Committee inquiring about any upcoming improvements to the facility or of equipment, and through discussions we did mention that we were looking to replace an Olympia, and they went back and discussed it with their committee, and as a result they looked at supporting the purchase. Thank you.
Thank you, Director. Mayor Turba?
Thank you, Mr. Chair. I would move the recommendation.
Councillor Keel?
I would second it. I do have one question for the director. So are we moving forward immediately with purchasing it, or are we waiting the 3 years to purchase the Olympia?
So through the chair, we've moved forward, and we had purchased because of the wait time. At the time that we placed the order, there was a 16-month wait, so we had to order it.
Okay, so in terms of, I'm just thinking from a technical standpoint, it says that the money can only be used for the purchase of the Olympia, but really the money's just reimbursing us back. And so is it just then going into general revenue, or?
So through the chair, the treasurer isn't here tonight, but she works a magic on how she moves things over from year to year. So it is earmarked for that project. And my understanding is that with capital projects, anything that's earmarked, as that money rolls in, it goes towards that project, and it can carry on throughout several years, even though the asset has been purchased. That's my understanding, and I could be wrong on that if the CAO wants to clarify anything.
I'm not going to overrule the treasurer. I think that's how it is. I think it's earmarked as it comes in, and it goes.
But it's like, but it's already paid for, so it's not like it's coming in and sitting there for a future Olympia. It's
Yeah, you're correct in that regards, but
Okay.
I think she does it with the accounts.
okay.
But yeah.
Okay.
Deputy Mayor Abdallah?
Well, I fully support the motion. I just want to publicly thank the Bogey's Bar and Silver Stick Committee, Norbert Chaput, and all the volunteers. And another example of great partnerships in the community. Silver Stick and Bogey's Bar have done so much, so it's exceptional that they've offered to cover the $25,000 each. Just fabulous. Thank you.
Seeing no more comments, we have mover and seconder. All in favor? Passed unanimously. Thank you. Next, we have enhancing access to spaces for everyone, the EASE grant. And again, Director Drew Roche.
All right, thank you. So the recommendation for this is that the Parks and Recreation Committee of Council approve a transfer of $16,534.60 from the Capital Design Service for the Pembroke Waterfront Boardwalk and Spit Project to offset the total cost of the pathway enhancement at the Pembroke Waterfront. In terms of the financial commitment, the department had applied for the EASE grant in 2025 to increase accessible pathways at the waterfront park. So we had applied for the maximum of $60,000, and we were awarded a little more than $57,000, with the shortfall mentioned in the recommendation to cover the city portion of the project. Based on 2025 estimates, we were looking at creating approximately 160 square meters of new pathways down at the waterfront. The pathways would improve accessibility, of course, and would be key in linking park features as well as community spaces. The city was notified this past December that the application was successful, and I should take a moment and note that although we did know in December, we do have to keep this confidential until the province has a chance to make their own announcement, and they just recently made their announcement. I think it was within the last couple of weeks. So the grant funding does have to be spent by September 30th of this year. Due to the timing of the application, the department was unable to include the additional required part of the funding as part of the 2026 capital budget. So with that, we are looking to request the money from the Boardwalk and Spit design. Of course, the department will still actively pursue that design and move forward with the remaining funding should council approve this recommendation this evening. Thank you.
Council? Deputy Mayor Abdallah?
Thank you. Well, this is more good news, especially with accessibility, the committee that you chair, Councillor Purcell. So I recommend we accept the recommendation. Thank you.
Thank you. Do we have a seconder? Councillor Keel? Any further discussion? Seeing none, we got a vote. All in favor? Moved. Advertising agreement for the Upper Ottawa Valley Little League. Again, Director Grosche.
All right, thank you. The recommendation for this report is that the Parks and Recreation Department endorse and recommend to Council the approval of the advertising agreement between the City of Pembroke and the Upper Ottawa Valley Little League. So in terms of the financial commitment of this advertising agreement, the city would retain 40% of the advertising sales. So this is very similar to what we've done in the past with other groups and associations. The vendor would be responsible for graphic size as well as the cost to produce the sign. I'm not too sure if many of you know the background on Little League, but I have included it in the report. And basically, they are a community-based, volunteer-driven, not-for-profit organization. So they do provide both house and competitive level baseball and softball for boys and girls. They also offer coaching, umpiring, and other volunteer opportunities for the community. They were also very instrumental in the improvements down at Ball Diamond number 3. They really led that grant through the Jays Care grant. And of course, we did have a celebration opening that up last year, which was very well attended. The Little League had approached Parks and Recreation recently, and they were discussing advertising opportunities. So historically, we've never had any requests, or I haven't heard of any requests. But this year, they're actually going to be hosting the provincials. So they thought it was a great opportunity for themselves as well to look at revenue sources. So it was very fitting. Finally, this is a 3-year term, which we were deciding upon as it would help limit the administration burden on both the Parks and Recreation Department as well as Little League by having to chase people on a yearly basis. Thank you.
Councillor Fournier.
You said it was a 3-year term. I was just looking at the actual agreement. It said 2-year in the agreement.
So through the chair, it should read 3-year. There may have been an error there.
Yeah, there's a typo there. If you want to check the copy I have anyway, it says 2-year.
Okay, thank you.
Okay, thank you. And I love it.
Deputy Mayor Abdallah.
Thank you. I motion that we accept the recommendation.
We have a seconder? Councillor Keel. Any other comments? Can I make one for the chair? I think this is a great opportunity to have, some of that additional revenue, similar to what we do with the PMC, PACC. And this is just going to be along the perimeter of the back fence in terms of the outfield fence. Is that correct?
Yes, that is correct. Yeah.
Yeah. So another opportunity to raise some additional dollars, and I think this is a great initiative, and we wish Minor Ball all the success in regards to their upcoming tournament. So that's fantastic. So just all in favor? Passed. Thank you. And the Friends of the Regional Pool Committee Memorandum of Understanding, Director Roche.
All right, thank you. So this is the last report from me. This report was in front of council February 17th. So it still has the same recommendation as well as the body of it. So I'm not going to go through it, but it was tabled. Council was looking for some more information on the event that something happened to the committee itself. So we went back to the table. We did produce another note underneath the financial commitment, so number 8 in the MOU. And I'll just read it here. So it does read that in the event that the Friends of the Regional Pool Committee dissolves, disbands, or otherwise ceases operations at any time, the FRPC will ensure that all funds, assets, and financial proceeds raised or held on behalf of the Kinsman Pool be directed towards aquatic priorities as determined in advance by FRPC and be administered as directed by the Ottawa Valley Community Foundation. Thank you.
Over. Deputy Mayor Abdallah? Any comments?
Motion to accept the recommendation in the MOU as per the report.
Thank you. Seconded by Councillor Fernier. Would you like to wish to speak, Councillor?
Yeah, no, another great agreement. And I just want to clarify, I was looking at the wrong agreement when I said it says 2 years. So I apologize, Jordan. It was this agreement I had in my head. So anyway, great. I love the work you've been doing since you came on board with us. Lots of agreements and policies, and it just formalizes things, you know, like as I've said before, years ago, it was a handshake and, you know, everybody went their way. But it's really nice to see some things in paper so we can, you know, as a council moving forward, not have to worry about what was done years ago. So thank you very much for your accuracy in developing all these policies.
Perfect.
Thank you.
Next, we have Councillor Keel and then Deputy Mayor Abdallah.
So in our interpretation of number 8, in the event that the Friends of the Regional Pool Committee, the FRPC, dissolves, disbands, or otherwise ceases operations at any time, the FRPC will ensure that all funds, assets, and financial proceeds raised or held on behalf of the Kinsman Pool be directed towards aquatic priorities as determined in advance by FRPC and be administered by the Ottawa Valley Community Foundation. That's aquatic priorities relating to our pool, right?
Through the chair, that is correct.
Okay, thank you.
Any additional comments? Oh, Deputy Mayor Abdallah.
Well, I just want to once again thank all these groups and the Friends of the Regional Pool for their commitment to the project. They came forward, you know, a couple of years ago and very dedicated towards the facility, and it's just great to see because that's what community is all about, and good agreement, and glad to that they're part of our community, and I want to thank them.
All in favor? Unanimous, passed. Thank you. Can I have a mover for the adjournment? Councillor Keel, seconded by Deputy Mayor Abdallah. All in favor? We are now adjourned. Thank you.
Good evening, everyone. I'd like to call the Operations Committee to order for March 17th. Are there any disclosure of pecuniary interest? Seeing none, I'd entertain a motion for the approval of this agenda. Moved by the Deputy Mayor, seconded by Councilor Purcell. Those in favor? That is carried. We have minutes of February 17th having been circulated. I'm just looking here who was there and who wasn't. I'd entertain a motion for the adoption of the minutes. So got moved by Deputy Mayor, seconded by Councillor Lafreniere. Those in favor? That's carried. Thank you. Any business arising? Seeing none. Moving on to new business. First up is 2025 Pollution Control Center Annual Compliance Report. Welcome, Director Lewis.
Thank you, Worship. The recommendation that the the Operations Committee endorse and recommend to Council approval of the Pollution Control Center Annual Compliance Report for 2025. There are no financial impacts associated with this report. Some background. Legislated date for producing the PCC Annual Compliance Report is March 31st of each calendar year. The attached compliance report covers the period from January 1st, 25 to December 31st of 25. The report examines compliance with the city's certificate of approval and additional relevant ministry legislation and guidelines. The wastewater treatment and collection system, as we all know, is a highly regulated industry and plant, and is subject to several legislative requirements, some of which are the Ontario Water Resources Act, the Environmental Protection Act, Nutrient Management Act, and numerous MECP guidelines. In 2025, the Pollution Control Center was unable to meet E. coli discharge criteria for August. All other ministry compliance was met. Over the year, there were 2 occurrences where a plant secondary bypass was reported, no occurrences of primary bypass. So one of the bypasses happened on March 16th of 25, and that was due to heavy rainfall and snowmelt. Second bypass occurred during an equipment shutdown on July 24th, and each time a bypass happened, it was remediated and all requirements of MECP were met. There is an enabling resolution for approval of the compliance report. It will be before Council later this evening, and the report is attached to Council's package. Thank you, Mr. Chair.
Thank you, Deputy Mayor.
Thank you, Mr. Lewis. A motion to accept the recommendation that the Operations Department endorses and recommends Council approve of the Pollution Control Center Annual Compliance Report for 2025.
Purcell?
I will second with the comment.
Sure.
I guess it's more or less in regards to capacity of the Pollution Control Center. Now that we're seeing or we're talking about infilling, maybe more paved services, more utilization in terms of our pollution control, because we said that it's impacted whenever we have rain, those kinds of things. What is the current capacity, and do we have the capacity, like at what point are we looking at upgrading our pollution control center to accommodate maybe some of the additional homes that we're talking about in the area?
Through you, Mr. Chair. So a couple things. One, paved surfaces and rain generally goes into the storm sewer, not into the sanitary sewer. It does not get treated out at the sanitary, at the Pollution Control Center. With that being said, the City of Pembroke suffers from inflow and infiltration. Rainwater does get into our sanitary sewer through broken pipes, cracks in pipes, residential units that may be dumping stormwater from their eaves trough and their foundation drains into the sanitary sewer system. That's inflow. And something we do have to combat. Infiltration is the rainwater that does get in through cracked pipes and cracks in manholes and so forth. So we do have a maintenance program through operations and maintenance to deal with some of those things with the 20-year facility plan that we're doing now for the plant, as well as the infrastructure needs study. We're looking at expanding a lining program to line some of those areas where we do have problems to reduce inflow and infiltration. With all that being said, if we don't get a handle on inflow and infiltration, we will need a second plant. Expanding the existing plant, the footprint, the property that we have, it's probably just not feasible. We'd have to build a second treatment plant. Financially, that's not feasible. So we really need to get a handle on that inflow and infiltration. So along with the studies that I'm doing, that we're working on, That is our plan, is to get a handle on that to allow for growth. If we can, we anticipate the capacity is there for at least the next 20 years.
Great information. So I think this is maybe just goes out to the residents in regards to connecting to, sewer systems, in regards to sump pumps that's draining your basements, or, east trough, or like anything infiltration in terms of water that goes into the sewer system has to be treated through our pollution control plant. So that becomes very costly endeavor when it's simply just water that could run off into a backyard or a ditch. That can deal with the rainwater. So just be cognizant that, we need to work diligently together. And if you have these types of situations in your home, is to address those through the proper means in terms of redirecting the water where it's supposed to go, and not in the sanitary drains. So I thank you for that. I guess supplementary to my question, in terms of the homes that are coming online shortly within the Laurentian Valley development that's taking place behind the mall, that will be connected to Pembroke water and sewer, I believe, right? That's already been factored in terms of the capacity that you're telling us about, that we could, if we address the inflow or the infill, or the inflow of waters that's not supposed to be there, we can actually run that pollution control plant for another 20 years.
Through you, Mr. Chair. That is correct. We provided all the anticipated development in Laurentian Valley that we're aware of at this point, and all the developments within the city of Pembroke, including the numerous subdivisions that we're looking at, and the development planning and development department is looking at. We provided all that information to our consultant that's doing the INS and doing the facility plans. They've crunched all the numbers. They're looking at it and saying, 20 years you're good, but you really need to get a handle on inflow and infiltration.
So the other thing we need to consider is in regards to, how we're going to pay for that facility, because we have a water tower that, that's coming up, and what is it, 2029, 2030 is the outlook, I think, that was provided to us in terms of a new water tower. We have the new construction project that's happening in regards to the servicing downtown line, not down Uville, as part of the grant. But I think we need to really consider, the costs over the long term through our asset management processes, which I know you're aware of and that you're providing us the proper information. But the sooner that we know, the sooner we can plan financially, because I recognize that the dollars associated with the maintenance of the programs and the expansion of the programs are typically through the user fee, user pay model. So we need to be cognizant that there's only so many dollars that can go around for residents in terms that are impacted. So the more that short notice, or the more notice that we provide it, the better that we can plan for less drastic impacts to people's water bills and sanitary drain sewage. So thank you.
So if I could just add to that, as part of the 20-year facility plan that we are doing for the plants, and we're doing that for both plants, water treatment as well as the wastewater treatment, it will provide us with a capital program, an asset management program, so that we can look at not only the repairs to the existing plant, much needed repairs to the existing plant, but as well looking at the processes and further efficiencies at the plant as well, so that we can extend the life of the plant as much as we can and provide for the growth that we see coming.
Thank you. Councillor Keel?
So in terms of the outlook, that's presuming that all those subdivisions are built out fully? Is that what the projection's based on, or?
Through you, Mr. Chair, that is correct. We provided full build-out number of units to the consultants, and that's the numbers that they're crunching in the program.
Okay.
From the chair, I'm wondering, Mr. Lewis, if you can comment. I know when we were doing the water sewer agreement and so forth, we were talking to obviously Laurentian Valley, and it's great questions that are being raised, but it then feeds into that analysis and what you do on your end in terms of the consultant and figuring out what's going on in their municipality and issues that they may have that are similar to ours. Like,
Thank you, Mr. Chair. So we work closely through that agreement with the Township of Laurentian Valley, with their planning and their development staff to get a handle on what work or what developments they see planning. We have annual meetings with the township staff to review those. We get updates on proposed developments and so forth. Maintenance activities that they may be doing to their systems. We discuss those on a regular basis with the township so that we're working closely together. Both of us need to ensure capacity for growth, and we're both working together on that. We have had discussions with township staff on inflow and infiltration. So when we're looking at programs for the city of Pembroke to deal with inflow and infiltration, we will be also looking to Township of Laurentian Valley to ensure the same. So that we're all working together as partners to ensure that both municipalities can sustain the growth that's anticipated.
thank you, Councillor Keel.
Do you have any knowledge from other municipalities of what a new treatment plant costs today?
The discussion with the consultants, when we had that hard discussion on inflow and infiltration, and is that the program, is that the focus that we're going to have over the next little while? Or are we going to start focusing on potentially a new plant? The number was upwards of 40 million for a new plant.
Thank you.
Okay, if there's no further questions, with a motion on the floor, call the question. Those in favor? That is carried. Thank you. Next up, Mr. Lewis, award tender T 26-04 Salt Road resurfacing.
Thank you, Your Worship. The recommendation is that the Operations Committee recommend to Council the award of tender T-26-04 asphalt road resurfacing to Bonachere Excavating, Inc. for the contract value of $749,554.28, that excluding HST. The financial comments, the city's procurement policy requires committee recommendation and council resolution for any purchases over $500,000. The 2026 capital budget has sufficient funds allocated to complete the resurfacing of the approved streets under this contract. The contract was publicly advertised and tendered. 4 bids were received. The tenders were opened publicly. They were reviewed and analyzed, meeting all of the city's procurement policy. Bids were received as follows. Bonachere Excavating, Inc. at $749,554.28. McCrae Excavating, $792,090. Thomas Cavanaugh Construction, $865,826.15. And Greenwood Paving Limited at $881,209. So the project, or this project for resurfacing, includes asphalt removal and replacement, and in some locations it also includes shouldering and some ditching work for drainage. And for information purposes, for those that may be watching this evening, the list of streets that are included in this year's contract is Angus Campbell Drive from Pembroke Street East to near Melton Street. That is presently scheduled for June. Forest Road from Pembroke Street West to Algonquin Trail, again in June. First Avenue from Front Street to Mary Street, that is going to be in July and August. That follows a water main replacement project we're also doing on that block. So the water main will have to be done first. On Mary Street from First Avenue to Trafalgar Road, that's to be done in August, and that continues previous resurfacing that we have done on Mary Street, a good, very large portion of Mary Street. We're going to resurface Town Line Road from McKay Street to River Road. That's to be done in September. That's being done coordinated with the resurfacing of River Road as part of the Connecting Link program. And International Drive is scheduled to be done from Sweezy Court to the Gulfview Subdivision entrance. We don't have a date on that yet. It is contingent upon that, that development moving forward. We don't want to advance too quickly before that development. And that's it. Thank you, Mr. Chair.
Thank you. I have Councillor Keel first.
I move that the Operations Committee recommend the award of T-26-04 asphalt road resurfacing to Bonashire Excavating, Inc. for a contract value of $749,554.28, excluding HST.
I have a seconder for that, seconded by Councillor Purcell. Did the two of you wish to speak to it? No?
Just one comment, just a quick comment. Thank you for providing a little bit of explanation in regards to people just look at the condition in terms of the asphalt on that road. There's a lot more considerations in terms of like what's underneath the road. So like that portion from Front Street to Mary Street, First Avenue. I think you said that you actually stated that a lot of it's water main replacement that's underneath the ground that's requires that work immediately. So be patient. We'll get to your street for resurfacing. But if anything needs to be resurfaced, it's Catherine Street. But anyway, thank you.
Any other questions or comments from members of council? Seeing none, call the question. Those in favor? That is carried. Brings us to the last one this evening, Director, Transfer Payment Agreement, Health and Safety Stream.
Thank you, Your Worship. The recommendation is that the Operations Committee endorse and recommend to Council approval to enter into a bylaw for a transfer payment agreement between the City of Pembroke and the Minister of Infrastructure for the Municipal Housing Infrastructure Program Health and Safety Water Stream. The city is receiving a maximum amount of $28,733,256 under this grant. Total eligible cost of the project is $39,360,625. Just to break those numbers up, the province will reimburse a maximum of 73% of the total eligible costs. The remaining 27% will be a combination of funding from the City of Pembroke and the Township of Laurentian Valley. So last June of last year, the city made application to the grant program for the quarry reservoir expansion, the transmission water main, and the design of a new water tower. The project will expand the drinking water storage facility at the quarry by constructing a second adjacent buried reservoir cell. The size of that in volume is just over 1,000 cubic meters. We will be installing 2,150 lineal meters of new water main along Quarry Road and Dieuville Drive that will connect to the existing distribution system at Robinson Lane. And it also includes the design of a new water tower. The outcomes of the project will improve health and safety, promote preservation of current housing supply, and provide for future growth. The project has a start deadline of June 30th, 2026, and a completion deadline of March 31st of 2029. We have started the planning processes and the procurement processes for this project. And a bylaw will be before council this evening to authorize the TPA. Thank you, Your Worship.
Okay, thank you. First have Councillor Keel.
I move that the Operations Committee of Council endorse and recommend to Council approval to enter into a bylaw for a transfer payment agreement between the City of Pembroke and the Minister of Infrastructure, the province, for the Municipal Housing Infrastructure Program, Health and Safety Water Stream.
Thank you. And who wishes to second it? Seconded by Councillor or Deputy Mayor. Yes, you're seconding it?
I'll second it and then have a comment.
Okay. And so back
you wanna
first to
go
Councillor
first?
Keel, and yeah.
So, Your Worship, obviously this announcement came a few weeks ago, and you know, I want to thank the staff on this one. I don't think members of the public would ever fully grapple the amount of work that goes into these grants. You know, you don't just send an email saying I want money. There's studies, there's technical things. The amount of work, and I know, Mr. Lewis, you spend a lot of time applying for these grants. But I also want to thank our local MPP, Billy Deneau. There's been a lot of funding announcements locally as of late, not just for our municipality, but for all the municipalities here in his riding. And I think it speaks to the efforts that he's doing behind the scenes to ensure that his riding is being well represented. This is obviously much needed money. I think this, if we were to fund this ourselves, I think it would be over half of our annual budget. I think that's the size of this particular grant. So Certainly very thankful to all those involved, but especially you, Mr. Lewis, because this makes or breaks certain budget decisions that we have to do. And if the grant application wasn't made, we wouldn't be talking about the end result today. So thank you very much.
Deputy Mayor?
Thank you. Yes, I didn't get a chance to go to the announcement at the filtration plant because I was working, and I phoned you, and I congratulated you and thanked you, and I want to thank you again, as did Councillor Keel. You explained it to me very well, and you said when you put in the application, you planned for years ahead. You even got the cost of the design of the water tower covered, so that's amazing. And I want to put a shout out to you for your dedication and professionalism, and Ms. McLaughlin and the consultant and the staff. This is a huge grant, and it's going to safeguard our water. And I just want to personally thank you publicly because I couldn't make it to the announcement, and we're very fortunate to have you on our staff. Thank you.
Councillor Purcell?
Yeah, I got to echo the kind of the same sentiment. Who would have thought, I think it was January 2025 when I saw this funding structure come out. I sent an email to the mayor and the CAO and it said water tower possibly with a question mark. And, here it turns out that it's probably it is the biggest grant that we've ever received in regards to infrastructure from the municipal government. So this is fantastic news. It's well needed in this area. We were talking about our official plan a little bit earlier, and we're seeing, there was comments made in terms of, we should be looking instead of, focusing on 14 to 50,000 individuals. And, we have the capacity here with the right infrastructure to really do, to make a big difference in regards to the quality of life of individuals and also to support our infilling. So not only through our partnership with the Laurentian Valley, but we have the capacity, and then we were just talking a little bit earlier about, the capacity of the pollution control plant. Without this capacity, we can't build. And we can't get those dollars that we need as a community to invest in terms of maintaining what we currently have and then new projects. So I think this is fantastic news. I think I want to just congratulate everybody again that was all involved in terms of getting this award. Fantastic news. I was there at the ceremony, and I thought it was the kudos that went out to our MPP, Billy Deneau, are well deserved. And I think the work that goes on behind the scenes that we don't typically see is the hours and hours that go into applying and making sure we're meeting the criteria of these grants, and that that we're demonstrating value for provincial dollars. And I think you've done that, and the demonstration or the proof is such a large reward. So kudos to you and your team. Thank you.
Thank you. Other members of council? Seeing none. So it's all been said. but just like kudos, in terms of all the way, in terms of MPP Deneau and all the great work. He's only been our MPP for a little better than a year, I think, at this point. And just all the great work in terms of staff working together, working collaboratively with other municipalities, in this case, Township of Laurentian Valley, and just punching it through and getting what I understand from staff as the largest single grant that the city of Pembroke's ever received. Like, it's phenomenal. And as Councillor Purcell says, the province gets it. Without the water, you don't build houses, which is what they want, which is what we want. So it just makes sense all around. So having said that, yes? Yep. Are we good? Yep. Yeah. All in favor? Yeah. Great. Carried. Thank you. And no. And a motion to adjourn. Deputy Mayor, second by Councillor Keel. Those in favor? We are adjourned. Thank you. Good evening, everyone. I'd like to call this council meeting to order for March 17th. I would ask those who wish and are able to please take an opportunity to stand for an opening prayer or reflection. Before opening this meeting of council, I would ask those who wish, each in your own way, silently join in a prayer of guidance over these proceedings. Thank you. Are there any disclosure of pecuniary interest in relation to the items on this council meeting? Seeing none. We have a number of different minutes this evening to work our way through. First up is special meeting of council, March 3rd, 2026. Moved by Councillor Frenier, seconded by Councillor Keel. Those in favor? That is carried. Then we have minutes of regular meeting of council, same date, March 3rd. Moved by Councillor Frenier, seconded by the Deputy Mayor. Those in favor? That is carried. Then we have adoption of various minutes from various committees. First up is Parks and Recreation Committee, February 17th, 2025. Moved by Councillor Keel, seconded by the Deputy Mayor. Those in favor? That is carried. Next up is Operations Committee, February 17th of this year. Moved by the Deputy Mayor, seconded by Councillor Keel. Those in favor? That is carried. Okay, receiving minutes, one this evening, Pembroke Heritage Murals, March 4th, 2026. Moved by Councillor Purcell, seconded by the Deputy Mayor. Those in favor? That is carried. No delegations this evening. Brings us to staff reports. The first this evening is Operations Committee Annual Asphalt Resurfacing Tender Award. Councillor Keel.
Your Worship, your Operations Committee of Council begs to report and recommend from its meeting held this evening as follows. Moved by myself, seconded by the Deputy Mayor, that the City of Pembroke Council approves the award of T-26-04 asphalt road resurfacing to Bonashire Excavating Inc. for a contract value of $749,554.28, excluding HST.
Thank you. Moved by Councillor Keel, seconded by the Deputy Mayor, that the City of Pembroke Council approve the award of T-26-04 asphalt road resurfacing to Bonashire Excavating for contract value of $749,554.28, excluding HST. Councillor Keel?
Your Worship, this was discussed at our committee meeting moments ago, and it's simply awarding the contract to the lowest bidder. Thank you.
Call the question. Those in favor? That is carried. Last staff and committee report this evening, Operations Committee approval of the 2025 Pollution Control Center Annual Water Report. Deputy Mayor.
Thank you, Your Worship. Your Operations Committee of Council begs to report and recommend from its meeting held this evening as follows. Moved by myself, seconded by Councillor Ian Keel. Recommendation, be it resolved that the Corporation of the City of Pembroke approves the Pollution Control Center Annual Compliance Report for 2025.
Thank you. Moved by the Deputy Mayor, seconded by Councillor Keel. Be it resolved that the Corporation of the City of Pembroke approves the Pollution Control Center Annual Compliance Report for 2025. Deputy Mayor?
Your Worship, this was presented by Operations Director Mr. Lewis previously, a committee that was approved, and its annual compliance with the Ontario government of our compliance over pollution control plan.
Thank you. Call the question. Those in favor? That is carried. This evening, we have one proclamation. By virtue of the power vested in me, I do hereby declare April 2026 as Earth Month in the City of Pembroke. Whereas each of us locally and globally is affected by ever-worsening environmental degradation, global health issues, climate change, food and water insecurities, and which are becoming more critical each year. And whereas our actions, while meeting the needs of the present, must not compromise the needs of the future generations and must encourage collective responsibility for our natural environment. And whereas the City of Pembroke is committed to informed decision-making within all departments to adopt best practices towards a greener and more sustainable future that balances our natural and built environments. And whereas Earth Day, and by extension Earth Month, is an annual global event promoting a renewed focus on the constant need for environmental awareness, strong sustainable actions, and the implementation of sound stewardship efforts. And whereas Earth Month offers time for all citizens, businesses, institutions, and organizations to further their environmental awareness and to increase the environmental actions, sustainability programs, and initiatives. April 22nd, 2026 is Earth Day this year, and April, as was indicated, is Earth Month. This is an opportunity to reflect on environmental issues, but more importantly, to get involved. The City of Pembroke is committed to change for the better. We need only to look at the countless changes that has been instituted by the City of Pembroke previously and our commitment through Beautification and Climate Action Advisory Committee. Further, I want to personally ask residents to participate in the Pembroke Community Cleanup when it kicks off and to do their part to help the environment and make Pembroke beautiful. So therefore, be it resolved that I, Ron Jerva, Mayor of the City of Pembroke, proclaim April 2026 as Earth Month throughout Pembroke and encourage all citizens, businesses, institutions, and organizations to participate in action-oriented activities to protect and enhance the environment and our local ecology and to celebrate the Earth. Under bylaws this evening, we have 2026-25 transfer payment agreement. Councillor Keel.
Your Worship, moved by myself, seconded by the Deputy Mayor, that bylaw 2026-25 to authorize the entering into of a contribution agreement for the Municipal Housing Infrastructure Program, Health and Safety Water Stream between His Majesty the King and Right of Ontario and the Corporation of the City of Pembroke be adopted and passed, and further that the said bylaw be signed by the Mayor and Clerk and sealed with the seal of the Corporation.
Thank you. Moved by Councillor Keel and seconded by the Deputy Mayor. The bylaw 2026-25 to authorize the entering into of a contribution agreement for the Municipal Housing Infrastructure Program, Health and Safety Water Stream between His Majesty the King in Right of Ontario and the Corporation of the City of Pembroke be adopted and passed, and further the said bylaw be signed by the Mayor and Clerk and sealed with the seal of the Corporation. Councillor Keel.
Yes, Your Worship. This was discussed previously, and this bylaw is simply authorizing us to enter into the agreement.
Thank you. Call the question. Those in favor? That is carried. Next bylaw is 2026-26, which is 592 Horace Street, the rezoning. Deputy Mayor.
Thank you, Your Worship. Moved by myself, seconded by Councillor Ian Keel, that bylaw 2026-26, a bylaw to amend bylaw 2020-05 of the Corporation of the City of Pembroke, being a bylaw to regulate the use of lands and character, location, and use of buildings and structures in the City of Pembroke be adopted and passed, and further that the said bylaw be signed by the Mayor and Clerk and sealed with the seal of the Corporation.
Thank you. Moved by the Deputy Mayor and seconded by Councillor Keel that bylaw 2026-26, a bylaw to amend bylaw 2020-05 of the Corporation of the City of Pembroke, being a bylaw to regulate the use of lands and the character, location, and use of buildings and structures in the City of Pembroke be adopted and passed, and further that said bylaw be signed by the Mayor and Clerk and sealed with the seal of the Corporation. Deputy Mayor.
Thank you, Your Worship. This is a zoning bylaw amendment for 592 Horace Street, where the premises will be removed and a new housing complex will be built. I think it's a quadplex. Thank you, Your Worship.
Thank you. Any comments from members of council? Seeing none, call the question. Those in favor? That is carried. Brings us to the last bylaw this evening, 2026-27, amending a parking bylaw on Carmody Street. Councillor Purcell.
Thanks, Mayor. Moved by myself and seconded by Councillor Keel that bylaw 2026-27, a bylaw to amend the bylaw 2024-24 is amended, being a bylaw to regulate the control of parking of vehicles in the City of Pembroke be adopted and passed, and further that said bylaw be signed by the Mayor, Clerk, and sealed with the seal of the Corporation. Thank you.
You moved by Councillor Purcell, seconded by Councillor Keel, that bylaw 2026-27, a bylaw to amend bylaw 2024-24, as amended, being a bylaw to regulate and control the parking of vehicles in the City of Pembroke be adopted and passed, and further said bylaw be signed by the Mayor and Clerk and sealed with the seal of the Corporation. Councillor Purcell.
Yes, during a review of the parking bylaw, 24-24, it was noted that the no parking designation for the south side of Carbon Street was inadvertently omitted. So this new bylaw, or the amended bylaw, is once again to state that the south side of Carbon Street is a no parking zone. It also adds a dollar amount in terms of a fee to cover staff time to regenerate any replacement parking permits, and as well it amends the winter parking boundary description with more clear language as it relates to that area. Thank you.
Thank you, and thank you for your detailed indication of what the bylaw. No, I appreciate it because the people at home don't know what it is that we're bringing forward, usually. Okay, so call the question. Those in favor, and that is carried. Are there any motions this evening? Seeing none. Correspondence. So in our package was correspondence regarding Deauville Drive petition. So subject to what council may want to indicate, we can just simply receive it for information. If okay, seeing nothing. Oh, Councillor Lafreniere.
When work is being done in our community, I know a lot of the times we have requirements based on contractors to either reestablish things that were there before they started construction, and just make sure things are aesthetically pleasing, or as pleasing as they were. So I think we should probably make sure that direction is given, that we contact the contractor that to do something, to return that land to its previous state. I don't know. I mean, I'd like to see something actioned by that concern.
Thank you, Councillor Lafreniere. So subject to what staff might want to indicate to me, I can indicate that there is a indication from staff in respect to this particular item that would enable council to make an informed decision as to what the petition is about. So at best, I would be suggesting that council direct that staff bring it forward to a committee meeting at best, but there is a backstory and an indication that staff could provide and enlighten council members as to whether or not, I understand in a perfect world and in most situations exactly what you're saying, Councillor Frenier, is true. In this particular instance, I believe that there's a more fulsome answer, but Mr. CEO, did you want to comment or?
Yeah, I was just going to mention, thank you, Mayor Gervais. So there was an email that was circulated just prior to the meeting, and so that should be in your inbox, and it's an explanation from the Director of Operations. And so some of the trees were on private, but as the Mayor suggested, if there wants to be a report brought forward and staff time utilized to do it, but everything is well explained in the email in regards to why it wasn't reinstated.
Councillor Keel.
I will check. Yeah.
I would simply move that the CAO or the Director of Operations respond to the petitioners.
Okay, so yeah, so we have a motion by Councillor Keel, seconded by Councillor Purcell. Councillor Frenier.
No, that suits me fine. That's great.
Very good. Call the question on that motion. Those in favor? That is carried. Great. Brings us to Mayor's report. So good evening, everyone. Wish to bring forward my Mayor's report at this time. On March 3rd, I had the pleasure to meet with the entire Pembroke Lumber Kings team and their coaches. I thank them for assisting with providing hot dogs and drinks for the first 100 individuals at the skating of March 16th. Thank you to all the sponsors for this entire week for covering off different opportunities to get the public out there being active and having something to do with with their children, and in some cases grandchildren, nieces, nephews, that sort of thing. As for the Lumber Kings, their last game was on March 15th, and I look forward to cheering them on next year. March 6th, I had the pleasure to attend the tribute to Lou and Lisa Hamill. Pleasant evening was shared by many like-minded people from a wide range of organizations that have been touched by this wonderful couple over the years. There were members from so many organizations that I don't even try to recount every one that they've touched. It's simply a great thing to see so many caring and thoughtful people that make up our community, and they're all serving and trying to achieve the same thing for our community because they all love our community. Job well done by the organizers, and to Lou and Lisa, you will be missed. This evening ended by Lou coming up to me at the conclusion. I was in the parking lot, and I think he knew that I was certainly sad to see him go, knowing everything that he's done for our community, and told me, he says, "Don't worry," he says, I'm still in the community at large, and if you ever need me, just reach out to me." That's the kind of people that they are. March 10th, I had the pleasure of attending the Francophone Business Networking event hosted by Enterprise Brantford County in conjunction with many partners, including the City of Pembroke, to say a few words. Great opportunity to meet with the individuals there that represent a good portion of our business community. Given our location close to the province of Quebec, it's interesting to see how many different businesses in our community are Francophone, and certainly they are a valued contribution and a valued portion of our business community. On March 12th, I attended the Kiwanis Festival of the Stars that Councillor Keel was mentioning earlier. Certainly, I want to bring attention to all the different individuals that certainly worked very hard at their crafts. It was very obvious to see that they certainly worked very hard in terms of whether it was dancing or singing and what have you, and certainly a big thank you to the Kiwanis Club of Pembroke, the parents, teachers, mentors, and your TV, as well as Pembroke News, Anthony Dixon, for the coverage. As a final note, I just simply want to wish everyone a sincere happy St. Patrick's Day to everyone. It's dates like today that remind us that of all the contributions the various people made to form up our great country and to form the city of Pembroke, that we should take this time as a reminder to thank everyone, and in this case, the Irish individuals, for all that they have done for our community. And as the Irish Rovers would always say, may you live as long as you want to and never want as long as you live. Having said that, are there any notices of motion this evening? Seeing none. Councillor updates. Councillor Keel.
Thank you, Your Worship. On March 7th, I was happy to be a judge at the Ottawa Valley Talent Showcase. The Deputy Mayor was also there as a judge. I think I was a little tougher than he was, but I want to congratulate the Doherty sisters. Absolute fabulous performance. They sang an original song that I think the Deputy Mayor would agree could probably go straight to radio. It was sincerely, you know, I know as councillors during updates we like to be positive or whatnot, but sincerely it was a really amazing song. So they're from our local area. So congratulations to them. On March 13th, I attended at the PMC for the 15th Annual Elwyn Ducrow Memorial Emergency Services Hockey Tournament. Thank you to our Pembroke Professional Firefighters Association, Local 488, for hosting the tournament. Our firefighters did make it to the finals, Your Worship, and it was a pretty intense game. But unfortunately, they came a goal short from winning this year. But that is always a fun event to attend. So I attended at lunch and watched our team play, and then again the finals later in the day. So certainly anyone who missed this year's tournament should definitely find it next year. On March 15th, as I mentioned earlier today, the Festival Hall volunteer event, we went up to the Deep River bowling alley. Great facility, one of our neighboring municipalities. Certainly I would encourage anyone who's interested in bowling taking the trip up the road and visiting our neighbors in Deep River. And I want to sincerely thank, again, our volunteers at Festival Hall, because as was said at an earlier committee meeting, Festival Hall couldn't operate without our volunteers. All 80 of them and all 2,200 hours last year of volunteer hours. Earlier today, I went to lunch, St. Patrick's Day lunch at the Pembroke Legion. Great shepherd's pie. Great to see everybody coming out. I wore green, but I got to tell you, Your Worship, there were people decked out far more than that. And I also ran into Kat from Fire Team K9. She had a new training, dog in training with her, and it's always great to drop into the Legion, and I would encourage everyone to do so. Upcoming, Your Worship, I am proud to be the sponsor of the public skate on Friday, March 20th at the PMC from 7 to 8:30 p.m. and certainly look forward to seeing everybody there.
Thank you. Deputy Mayor?
Thank you, Your Worship. Just a few announcements. We had a transit committee meeting on March 5th. The consultant gave the report along with their treasurer. And in January, from the last committee report to council, we had 2,100 rides. I think it was 2,114. But in February, we had 2,045. So it's incredible support. It's doing very well. We want to thank everyone who's involved with the transit and thank the riders for supporting it. And we continue to strive to do the best we can and improve the service along the way. And I know the handicap or the handy bus figures are up also for the month. Ottawa Valley Showcase, it's amazing the talent we have in the upper Ottawa Valley, the whole Ottawa Valley, the varied dance acts, music, great performances, and I know it was tough to get down to the 22 acts. Again, Your Worship, you mentioned Lou Hamill and his wife. I was there. I had the honor of being there on behalf of the PBA, and everything that Lou has done and his wife, and we're going to miss him. But as you say, he's told you he's still around. So thank you to them again. Mary and I are sponsoring a skate tomorrow, 1:30 till 3 at the PMC. We invite everyone to come out. As usual, I'll be wearing my Leafs jersey. They're not going to make the playoffs, and I expect everyone to take it easy on me. No, not too many jokes. Anyways, happy St. Patrick's Day.
Thank you. Any other, Councillor Frenier?
Yes, I want to thank the mayor for allowing me to represent the city at the OFSSA High School Basketball Championship Banquet. That was held on Sunday, March 8th at the Germania Club. And last week, we hosted basketball teams from across Ontario that already qualified for the Ontario Championship. And I was so impressed. These young men are NBA hopefuls, so they could be the future stars of the NBA. And I mean, they were decked out and they all received their banner for the tournament. But I was so proud that Pembroke was hosting this event along with the local high schools. They really came together with local hotels and everything to make this a really special event. And I was honored to bring greetings from the city. The passion that I saw by some of the high school coaches and just the young men who are trying to make a career out of basketball, it was just inspiring, that's all. And I want to thank the mayor for allowing me to be there in their presence. Yeah, and I was proud to be a member of Pembroke City Council and boasting about our beautiful community. So thank you.
Thank you. Any other questions or updates? Seeing none, confirming bylaw, Councillor Purcell.
Moved by myself and seconded by Councillor Keel that bylaw 2026-29 to confirm the proceedings of the regular meeting of council, March 17, 2026, be adopted and passed, and further the said bylaw be signed by the mayor and the clerk and sealed with the seal of the corporation. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you. Moved by Councillor Purcell and seconded by Councillor Keel that bylaw 2026-29 to confirm the proceedings of the regular meeting of council March 17, 2026 be adopted and passed. Further that the said bylaw be signed by the mayor and clerk and sealed with the seal of the corporation. Those in favor? That is carried. And a motion to adjourn. I have Councillor Keel seconded by the deputy mayor. Those in favor? We are adjourned. Thank you, everyone.